With Talandre, we now have the new solo dungeons, and those solo dungeons are a really good way to get our good tier 2 weapons. And in the solo dungeons there are always 5 different difficulties, and the higher you go, the more likely it is that you get those weapons. If you do the solo dungeons on tier 3 compared to tier 1, you double your chance of getting those items. That's why it's really beneficial to do these dungeons now on tier 3. But on tier 3 it's not that easy, especially the first 2 stages. So let me give you some tips that I found out, but also other players out of my guild have shared with me. So first of all, try to get as much self-healing in your kit as possible. Almost every class has some sort of self-healing potential. Maybe it's a passive, maybe it's a skill or whatsoever. If you have a wand, it's of course way easier. Okay, so the solo dungeon has 4 stages. When you enter the first one, you can choose between 3 effects: bonus health, bonus stamina or bonus movement speed. In the first stage, you always want to go for stamina. Most of the damage from the monsters come from fury attacks. Of course, the auto attacks also deal damage, but most of it will be the fury attacks. But in this stage, the real problem is the red mechanic. So all these purple lightning monsters will now always spawn reds. There are 3 different kinds of reds. Some reds can fear you, some can poison you, and some explode when they hit you. So they're all really painful. So when you do your pulls, especially in the beginning, always try not to pull these guys. Try to start where you don't have those special monsters. If you have then a little bit more space later on, it's way easier to kill those. Because if they summon a red, you can either try to kill the red, which for sure takes a little bit of time, or the way easier variant is you kite the red away and then you have space to kill the guy who summoned it. Because if you kill this guy, the red also dies. Then you might have noticed that the totem in the middle will always charge these wrath attacks, right? That happens when those yellow balls hit the totem. And these yellow balls always have a chance to spawn if you kill a monster. But these balls almost have no life. So if you have the time, just kill those balls really quickly. I think that's all you need to know for the first stage. Just don't make big pulls, pull them one by one, and then everything is going to be fine. Now you will come to the second stage, to the first boss. So this one, if you don't know what you are doing, is really hard. Thanks to my guys at Omen for testing this all night and letting me know how the basics of this boss work. Okay, so first of all, here I would always take the additional health. You don't have to block much and movement speed is also not a problem. The boss functions like all bosses in TL and has a set pattern. First of all, I will explain you all the different mechanics. And then I will explain you the pattern, and then this boss is really not that hard anymore. Okay, let's start with the mechanics. What you need to know is that he will sometimes place a totem directly on you and sometimes behind him. These totems will always shoot a few red balls at you, which of course deal damage, so you have to avoid them. Of course, it will get always harder and harder the more totems will be on the field. But additionally, he has a mechanic where he teleports into the center of the arena, where he deals damage to you dependent on how many totems are still in the arena. That's why you need to destroy those totems somehow, otherwise it will be way too hard. For this you need to understand that the boss has 3 more special attacks. First of all, he does this red AoE attack. Here you simply have to jump over it, nothing special. Of course, you have to learn the timing here. For the second attack, he will teleport away and follow it up with the Fury attack. This one you just have to simply block. Also nothing special. And then there's the third attack where he teleports to you. And now he will channel a Wrath attack. And this Wrath attack will destroy totems. So you have to position yourself so that the totems are between you and the boss. That means in the first place you have to place the totems correctly. Then you have to get the boss to teleport to the right place. And then you can position yourself so that the Wrath attack kills all the totems. So understanding the pattern of the boss is really helpful here, because then you can really easily stack all the totems on one place. You know exactly when he teleports to you, and then you will always destroy most of the totem in one Wrath attack. Okay, let's have a look onto the pattern. First of all, he will always spawn a totem somewhere behind him. The next totem he will place on you. That's why you should immediately run to the place where the first totem spawned. Then he will teleport away and does this Fury attack. You should of course block this, not like me in this clip here. Then he will spawn another totem at you, and at the same time he will channel his AoE attack, where you have to jump over it. And then shortly after he will teleport to your position and channel his Wrath attack. Now you position yourself that it kills the totems, and then he will teleport in the middle and do his final attack. And then it starts from the beginning. And then you do it over and over again till he's dead. And that's it. It's not that hard, right? Now we come to the third stage. This is your jump and run stage. This is generally super easy. At the beginning I was a little bit lost, but then my guildmate said, just follow your intuition. And yeah, then it's pretty easy, just go with the flow and always use the lever when you see one. You also have to dodge some thorns here and there, but I'm sure you can do it. Now the final stage, you have the final boss, which is much easier. Here I would always use movement speed as a ranged and stamina or health as a melee. In general, there's not too much to say. He does all sorts of different wrath and fury attacks, but they're all not too complicated. As a ranged character with bonus movement speed, you can simply kite the boss around the room. If other players have experience with the boss as a melee, feel free to share your tips in the comments. Of course, if you have no heal in your kit, you might need to learn the animations and the pattern a bit, but this is definitely doable. And at this boss, it really helps out to completely zoom out. Okay, that's it. If you like the content and want to support me, like, share and do all this good stuff. Thanks for watching guys, and see ya in the next one.